Hello, welcome to our introductory lesson. Today we'll take a look at a tool that we'll be working with a lot here. It's called n8n. For those of you who haven't heard of it, it's a great tool for automation flows by connecting with other tools, whether that's email, calendar, or through API connections like OpenAI, accessing databases, and so on. You can create fairly complex flows there. And we'll take a look at how to set up this tool, how much it costs, and how to get oriented with the basics. So go to the website n8n.io and it will take you to this introductory screen. First, let's look at the pricing because, of course, everything comes at a cost. So you can be prepared. If you choose the monthly payment, this basic plan will cost you 24 euros per month. So if you're okay with that, now we can take a detailed look at exactly how to set up this powerful tool. So it is actually quite simple. Just click the sign up button and select the option that you are new here. From there, you can start a free trial, although I am not entirely sure if it lasts for 7 or 14 days, and then simply enter your primary email address to get started. You'll receive a verification code at that email as usual, a code for verification, and then you will set up the entire system. Hey Tesla, it looks like we completely overlooked a small detail and forgot to capitalize the very first letter of the word at the beginning of this sentence. And right here, you can see the specific account name. Test account. There we go. And now we have a 14-day trial. You get 14 days for free. After that, you start paying. Right here, you have an initial onboarding questionnaire. It is actually quite common with a wide variety of these digital tools that they want to find out exactly what your specific needs are. Who is registering there? Let's say we heard about it from YouTube, for example. Here you can invite your colleagues, for example, depending on the specific plan you have. I usually tend to work on it alone. So right now, we're just inviting. So that is great. You really get into a kind of steady test flow where you can either run quickly or just keep moving forward. A live demo. But in any case, we want to go here to the admin panel. And the first thing we want to do is right over here within the manage section of the interface. If you don't already have it enabled, you will definitely want to enable these specific verified community nodes listed right here, because that is exactly where you will find all of the various nodes that you manually add to your workflow from verified partners like a PIFA and so on, which we'll definitely need here. That is why I highly recommend this product. And now, without any further delay, let's go straight into the process of building our very first automated flow. To get started, you simply need to click on this small plus icon or cross located right here in the corner, and then choose the specific option indicating that you want to create it from scratch. In personal, or if you're going to be creating several projects here, etc., then first you select the specific folder under which you want to create it. However, when you have a complex branch tree, you always need to have the credentials connected everywhere. So I usually just do it all in one single step, which is really great for the workflow. For the last several months, Gimai, we've actually had the new and exciting option to build with AI in our projects. You get about 20 monthly credits. If you have an idea but aren't quite sure how to make it, you can have AI create it for you and then, let's say, fine-tune it yourself. The same goes for let's say having a guide created for you, whether by Gemini or by GPT. However, it will give you the instructions in text form, telling you what to do, where to enter things, and what type of node to add. Here it already shows you graphically. It displays how it looks and you can edit it. We'll definitely show you this. But the very first thing that I'd really like to show you right now is exactly how you can add some basic triggers to your project. And what exactly are these basic triggers? They are some kind of flow initiators based on which the flow actually runs. As the simplest and most fundamental starting option, here we have the process of manual triggering for your automation. You will likely find yourself using this quite often when you are building out new flows that you want to quickly test and iterate on. And then after that, you just need to go ahead and connect some of them together. Input point like a received email, etc. First, you want to test internally how the flow works, whether it functions, and only then connect it to the input or possibly the output. Another thing you'll use a lot, or at least what I use a lot, is on schedule, which means, I don't know, every morning at 8, every 2 hours, and so on. When you insert it here, you can set the usual interval, how often you want the flow to run. That means if you know you want to run the flow every morning, I don't know, go through new emails, have them summarized, and so on. This is exactly the trigger you'll be using. Webhook call. At the beginning, I think you probably won't use it much. Essentially, it functions as a standard HTTP gateway that you can easily call and interact with from various other external applications. For example, when you need to integrate different software services together seamlessly. Typically, you have a form set up somewhere. For example, I have it connected to GitHub in some of my flows. I fill out a form on GitHub where I have a mini page set up, and all that information gets sent to this webhook, which then starts processing it further. Again, it's a kind of gateway for connecting with another application. Definitely useful, definitely good to know about. I don't think you'll use it right away at the beginning on for submission. Right here, you can easily create a new form. We'll just quickly show a test. Let's add a field here. Test field. And when you hit execute, it will pop up for you. A form like this, which you can submit, and you can see what the user filled in there. And from there, you can continue working with the information from that form in Tflow. And you will definitely use this further, even with on-chat message, which is basically an internal chat here, where you can, for example, connect, whether it's a simple node, either ChatGPT or Gemini, or directly a specialized AI agent node, to which you can then strategically assign a wide variety of functional tools. Right here, there is already a specifically pre-configured node for AI agents, to which you can easily integrate a powerful generative AI model. You can add memory to it, so it doesn't lose track of the context of a conversation. And at the same time, you can then add tools such as a search API, access to a database, and so on and so forth, so that it can already do, let's say, more complex things. You can give it access to your calendar, for example, so it can check what you have planned for today, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so this is basically a simple chat. You just start it here and start typing. You write your message to the chat, and if you have the next node programmed, it can immediately give you a response, for example. That's it. Hmm. Hmm. And I would say the last thing you'll often use from these basics, yeah, these are, let's say, basic triggers. Of course, for running workflows, each tool can have its own trigger. For example, with Gmail, a flow can be triggered based on a received email. The same goes for Telegram, for instance. When you connect it, then a flow will also be triggered based on a received message. Another thing that you might have here is the possibility that something is actually being executed by another workflow that references it. In a typical scenario, you have the ability to construct a workflow that processes a certain part of the information, captures that specific data, and, for example, sends it all directly over here to an entirely new flow, which then processes it after being called and finally returns the processed data back again. So these are just a few of the basic triggers for your flows. Now let's quickly take a look at how this builder works. Let's say you could start by creating, for example, a specific trigger word such as when. The receive message function is specifically used to send a message to Gmail, Fox. Then all right, and now let's take a much closer look at the builder right here, okay? But here you also have some very useful pre-made templates available. So let's check them out together. We'll go ahead and select one of theirs, for example, the Daily AI News Digest. You can clearly see that it gives you a specific kind of prompt right here to help you get started. And you can use it, right? And if you chat about it with ChatGPT or Gemini, it will typically give you some kind of text output. If, for example, you have a cloud desktop connected to an MCP server for n8n, it will directly create those flows for you. Alternatively, you can select their flow builder right here, describe what you want, and it will generate the entire workflow for you automatically. No, just like this in just a moment. To be completely honest with you, in this trial and the most affordable basic plan, you get about 20 users per month, which, as a matter of fact, I think should be quite sufficient for your regular requirements. I use it maybe once or twice a month, for example, when I honestly don't feel like thinking too much about how to set it up. So I let it make a draft for me and then I adjust it, because if you don't define the inputs exactly and so on, it might leave something there like just some set node where you have to specify what kind of information should go there, etc. You can see that it has already started creating the flow. Of course, where you see these exclamation marks here mean that you need to connect something there, that there's some kind of error. All right, I will make sure not to touch anything while it is in the process of creating. This is a completely new account, just created now, so there are no credentials connected yet. I don't have any OpenAI account connected there. I don't have any Telegram account connected either, whether it's some Telegram bot that I could actually chat with, or I don't even have a chat ID there, nothing at all. So has it already been created for me? Now that is looking all right, great. So when it creates a flow like this for me, what I would then need to do is go ahead and establish a connection for the specific OpenAI developer credentials right here. If you have a new account, you can claim 100 free credits here through AppyNew. It will create a test account for you. You can start testing. And it's the same here. For this part, I'll create it for you. For any illustration I see here, you would again need to enter your credentials and connect it with Telegram. You see, it creates a placeholder like this for you here, and here you would need to specifically enter the chat ID with your Telegram bot. I'll skip this flow. I won't go into more detail. It was just to demonstrate how their AI builder works. Anyway, yes, I recommend you try it out. It can help you get unstuck when building something, or it can give you inspiration. These templates also work perfectly on the n8n platform. And if you take a quick look right here at the community section on the forum, right here, you can find a wide variety of helpful tutorials that will guide you through every step of the process, and so on and so forth. If we take a moment to carefully examine the various templates that are currently available for us to use, you have both tutorials and some workflows here. There are a ton of them here. You can take a look here. You always see what various essential services are seamlessly connected. So you'll definitely need to have accounts for Telegram, OpenAI, and other similar platforms, etc. You can check it out. There's always a description here, and sometimes someone even adds a video. Here you have what you need to connect. Here you can see the entire flow already assembled. You can take it, copy it for yourself, and maybe further modify it or just use it within your own use case or your overall workflow. Great. This was a bit of an introduction on how to get started with this tool. We'll show more in the next videos. I'll show you how to connect the individual credentials, such as OpenAI, Gemini, Supabase, Airtable, Google Drive, and so on. And we'll look at how to build an automated workflow for, let's say, more creative work, or for automatic posting, or even for creating content for social media. All right? Thank you, and I'll see you in the next videos.